dude, like, oh my God, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now?
Fight makes no fucking sense. It's stupid. It's quite crude. It's brutal, and it is a very, I would say, something from the past that humans do. Like we've evolved enough to not rely on our hands and our power to make a point.
और जब ये 2.5 किलो का हाथ किसी पर पड़ता है ना, तो आदमी उठता नहीं, उठ जाता है.
Or to convince someone that you are of some caliber. Those were a couple of the beliefs that I held on to till I saw Ultimate Fighting Championship. Ultimate Fighting Championship, also known as UFC, introduced me to this world where I saw individuals who were willing to step into the octagon and face each other, not to showcase brutality, not to showcase their ability to squash a beef. They were there to showcase the skills that they've honed over the course of their entire life. These skills that they've given their entire childhood to, these skills that they've given a lot of time to, and the sacrifices that they've made to gain these skills, they get to showcase those skills in the octagon. And understanding that brought a level of artistic angle to the brutality, where I was able to now see that there are individuals who have ability to actually kill someone, but they utilize it in a manner where there is a promotion which is trying to see who is the best one in them, in these, like, who's the best one in this pool of dangerous people. The validation that they're looking for in that aspect is, am I the best or not? Am I the one who can go against any known martial arts form, and can I stand it? Can I withstand the pressure that comes my way? And one of the fighters who really encapsulated this entire vibe was Max Blessed Holloway.
You're 20 years old, the youngest fighter in the UFC. How are you so confident and calm inside the octagon there? How's this not getting to you?
Man, you know where I'm from? I'm from the city, in a city called Waianae in Oahu, Hawaii, and you just gotta grow up fast, man. I saw things at a young age, and I told myself I don't want to be like those guys. I saw guys who I don't want to be like, and you just gotta, go above the influence.
And my introduction to Max Holloway happened in 2016 in a pay-per-view, which was the UFC 199, and at that point he was around 24, and he was going up against this guy called Ricardo Lamas, who was again a very highly ranked fighter, and someone who himself was quite proven in the promotion as well. Max Holloway was cruising through the fight. He was winning the round 1, round 2, round 3. All of the rounds he was winning. Seeing him fight that fight was quite similar to how I would have fought my video game character in a video game. Like the fluidity in which he moved, the creativeness that he used to move his body in a way that he's able to inflict the most damage while taking the least, was quite insane to see. And also, there is a mental game to this sport that Max Holloway has in abundance. He knows what it takes to get into that ring, and what it is a lot of confidence and a lot of passion. Confidence with respect to your striking and your chin. The confidence that one has that I am standing in front of this other motherfucker who is trying to kill me, but I know for a fact that I have it in me to withstand it, and not just withstand it, come out of it victorious, and make sure that that guy knows that I'm the better one. So this is what Max Holloway did the best, I feel, and I saw it in the very first fight when I saw him So he was winning the 3 rounds. He was on top of each round. But by the end of the fight, which was around, let's say, 15 seconds left to the fight, he could see that Ricardo Lamas is still standing up, and it looked like Ricardo Lamas wanted some more. And that is exactly what Max Holloway decided to give. He decided to give Ricardo Lamas some more. He pointed to the center of the octagon, invited him for a stand and bang, and then both of them threw punches in fucking bunches. And Max Holloway still connected the most punches. There was no reason for him to do that. He was winning the fight. In fact, it is a stupid move. Some would call it a stupid move because it leaves him open to a knockout and losing a fight that he was already winning. But that's not what Max Holloway does. That's not what Max Holloway does. He saw that the crowd was riled up. He saw that was his moment, and he had the confidence in him, knowing that his chin will withstand whatever it is, knowing that his hands will make their way to Ricardo Lamas's face, and if it comes down to it, he will knock him out. But that fight ended with both of them still standing. However, Max Holloway wins the fight easily, quite comfortably, and that makes him one of the most memorable fighter for me. With the very first fight that I saw, he was at that point itself one of the most memorable fighter for me, because that moment where I saw Max Holloway point to the ground and say, "Let's go," is etched in my memory. It is something that made me fall in love with the sport. It is something that showed me what, not to be cliche, but what, if you put your mind to it, if you have a certain level of confidence in you, you can really pull crazy things like this off. Because, mind you, it is a very dangerous thing what he did, to call another fighter who has fought multiple times and knocked out multiple people, calling him to the middle of the octagon, balls out, and just going for it was one of the craziest moments that I've seen in my entire life. And then this guy decides to do the same thing 8 years later against Justin Gaethje. Now a little bit about who Justin Gaethje is. So this is why this fight was something that I was so excited for, and I am so excited to make a video about it, is because both the fighters who were involved in this fight were two fighters that I truly respect. But these two fighters, over the course of their career in UFC, have shown that they have it in them to bring the most brutal side inside the octagon, while also maintaining a sportsmanship spirit, or maintaining just a chill vibe, and not looking for fights, or not looking for hype, or not looking to create an image for themselves. People know exactly who they are because of the fights that they've had inside the octagon, and people like them because of who they are outside of the octagon. Justin Gaethje went up against Khabib Nurmagomedov in Saudi Arabia for the lightweight belt. This on its own was pretty crazy, because Khabib at that point was the best fighter, and honestly the greatest fighter of all time in UFC. If you go just by the record, Justin Gaethje came into that fight with full confidence. He went up against Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he was able to put a decent performance. But then again, Khabib is Khabib. But before the championship fight, Justin had gone against several big contenders: Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson. So Justin Gaethje is different from Max Holloway in the sense that he's far more reckless. He's far more of a highlight reel. He's knocked out people while he was barely up himself, while he was barely able to walk. And then the passion that I talk about for fighters, Justin Gaethje has that in him in abundance. He has that in so much. Like, he is one of the people who, when I saw for the first time, I did not know who he was, because he came into UFC quite late. Like, he was already on a win streak, and that on its own was quite a hype. But I did not know who he was, because till you fight in UFC, no one really cares. But first he went up against Michael Johnson, and that was a good fight. He won that fight quite easily. Then he had a couple of bad fights because of his fighting style, which was very reckless. But then he worked on it, and then he had a then he had a certain amount of control over the chaotic fighting nature that he was, and he brought that to the next fights, which is where he was able to build a name and build a reputation of someone who is both dangerous but not stupid enough to get caught because of a sprawl or something of that nature. Decides to do the same thing 8 years later against Justin Gaethje. Now, who is another beast of his own. I have no clue what made him think that that is something that is a smart move to do. I don't know. I don't think his coaches or his corner would have ever thought that that would be the right move to do, but it's Max Blessed Holloway. He does what he does, and what he decided to do on the pay-per-view event for UFC 300 was pretty crazy, because it makes no sense, but it makes a lot of sense, because what he said was after the fight was that that's something that Justin would have done. Like, that's something that's basically giving Justin the final opportunity to win. That is, whether it doesn't matter where the points are going, it doesn't matter how the previous rounds have gone. I am giving you these last seconds to prove your worth, and if you are all about that, then show it to me. And Max Holloway showed it. This time around, he knocks Justin Gaethje out in the last second. He is able to connect with one right hand at the last second, and that drops Justin Gaethje out. This was for the BMF title, baddest motherfucker. And what Max Holloway was able to pull out in that last second was something only the baddest motherfucker in this entire world can do. No one in this world is going to take a call where they're already winning. That all the odds are in their side. The judges are in their side. The fans are in their side. This guy still decided that nah. Let me take it one notch up, and let's see what this guy is about. And he, again, just like 8 years back, points to the center of the octagon, calls Justin Gaethje to the center, and goes, "Let's go, let's have a go." And this time around, the only thing that's different was that he finishes it off with a knockout. Crazy, crazy. So, after explaining these two people, it is quite crazy that Dana White went for the BMF fight between Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. But it made so much sense. It made so much sense because both of them, to me, are actually two of the baddest motherfuckers who I have seen in this promotion. They capture exactly what it means to be a BMF. They go all in. There is their fighting style is not conservative. They want to make sure that the people who are watching the fights have the best time possible, and it is not in a way where it is okay if they lose. The priority remains for them to have their hands raised in the end of the fight. But that doesn't mean you take a approach where it's easier to get it done. I've seen them put themselves in situations where it is tough, where it is impossible to look for an out, but they're still able to find it. And that is what made this fight insane. It made this fight, for me, this fight was something that captured what I love about UFC the most, because this was something that was perfect in terms of narrative. It was perfect. Even you can't plan such a fight in WWE, which is completely scripted, and you have the entire year to plan it. These two fighters in two separate journeys were able to do their best and were able to impress all the viewers, and they decided UFC 300, which is the biggest event till now, to finally have them face each other. And the way that it ended was insane. The fact that Max Holloway knocked out Justin Gaethje in the last second of that 10-second stand and bang was just beautiful. Like, I mean, I know it's weird to call fighting beautiful, and I still hold on to those opinions that fighting is brutal, crude, and whatever, but there are times like this where you go, this was a moment in history.
The fact that you have won the BMF title is so appropriate. The fact that you stood there with 10 seconds to go and pointed at the center of the octagon and put Justin Gaethje away. It's one of the most special performances I've ever seen in my life.
All I gotta say, I'm him, guys.